Right now, this morning, IRS-ICE partnership raising privacy concerns, what we know about the potential information sharing deal, what it could mean for taxpayers.
And potential icy conditions on the I-94 area as we get into the forecast for this morning. More about that in just a moment.
And breaking the silence on women's workplace health, how employers can better support female employees. Learn more on Mindful Monday.
This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good morning, I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Art Jarrett.
It is Monday, March 24th. Monday is back already, and March 24th already. The month is flying by.
We're almost done.
Right, it doesn't feel like March.
No,
it feels more like January.
Exactly. You know, you're having a lot of fun this early morning.
I got a lot to say, I guess.
Let's get into it real quick as we go into your forecast here. We're looking at the conditions to be like this today. We're holding on to the possibility of some icy roadways getting up along I-94. That can be up to the north of that as well as down to the south. They still have some winter alerts that are still in play up to the north there and getting all the way to the northeast. Breezy conditions are in play right now as well. Winds are getting up to at least 28, 29 miles per hour to around 32. You can see the winter alerts still holding on. They'll expire as we get into the 7 o'clock hour, and not much really affecting us down to the south. Over the last, say, 6 hours or so, a lot of the snow kind of swept through the area and kind of moved out now over to the lake. You can see temperatures are still holding on to that colder air, though. 20s widespread, some low 30s in the process, but we're also seeing that it's 19 degrees on it feels like on your skin. So prepare yourself as you're heading out for the breeze to come out. In fact, the doors can get swung open really quickly as well. I experienced that when I opened up the door in my car, and the winds just kind of grabbed that door and really swung it out. All right, so we're looking at La Crosse. Sunshine will prevail later on today as well as in Eau Claire. I'll have more about this coming up for you in just a moment. Stick around.
Thank you, Art. The Trump administration returns to court this morning over its deportation policies. ICE deported some Venezuelan migrants even before a judge could hear their case. Meanwhile, CBS News has learned 2 White House officials will visit Greenland this week as President Trump calls for a U.S. takeover. CBS's Derek Waller reports.
The Trump administration is back in court today, this time for oral arguments in its appeal of federal Judge James Boasberg's decision to temporarily block the use of the 1798 Alien Enemies Act in their push to quickly deport alleged Venezuelan gang members without due process. Attorney General Pam Bondi says the case could go all the way to the Supreme Court.
This is an out of control judge, a federal judge trying to control our entire foreign policy, and he cannot do it.
The president continued attacking the judge on social media over the weekend. His border czar, Tom Homan, says the administration will abide by court orders in the case, while adding that deportation efforts will not stop. Overnight, multiple Department of Homeland Security officials confirmed to CBS News that a removal flight carrying nearly 200 Venezuelan migrants, some of them alleged gang members, landed in Venezuela Sunday.
We're going to continue to arrest public safety threats and national security threats.
Meanwhile, CBS News has learned that National Security Advisor Mike Waltz will travel to a U.S. military base in Greenland this week. President Trump has repeatedly said he wants the U.S. to take over the territory, which is within the Kingdom of Denmark.
We need Greenland because of national security. International security.
The White House says Second Lady Usha Vance will also travel to Greenland this week to visit cultural sites.
Today's deportation hearing comes as the Washington Post and New York Times report ICE and the IRS may be finalizing an information sharing agreement. A source says that would enable ICE to submit names of possible illegal immigrants for IRS verification. The president's supporters say voters want these policies. Critics say IRS involvement risks taxpayer privacy.
There is a process in place for a court to look at that and decide whether or not that information should be released.
The agency works under laws usually prohibiting the release of personal information. Letter carriers rallied in La Crosse against Postal Service privatization. President Trump has said he's interested in changing the U.S. Postal Service. That would include giving the Secretary of Commerce authority over the currently independent organization. But letter carriers say any policy change that would move the USPS toward privatization is a mistake.
To privatize the Postal Service would cause inflation for both the consumers and for the businesses that rely on the Postal Service to provide service to them. It would also affect the 650,000 people that currently work with the Postal Service, including 73,000 plus veterans.
Letter carriers worry privatization would end universal service to all addresses. They say rural communities could lose access to mail completely, cutting off medications, ballots, and essential packages for those who rely on postal delivery. Control of Wisconsin's Supreme Court hanging in the balance as candidate Brad Schimel campaigned in the Cooley region over the weekend, part of his Save Wisconsin bus tour. The hotly contested race between Schimel and Susan Crawford will determine conservative or liberal control of Wisconsin's Supreme Court. Both candidates currently touring the state to shore up support.
Going to every corner of the state like I did for the last 16 months, just repeating it, getting to people and reminding them this race is so critically important.
His stop in La Crosse came days after he picked up an endorsement from President Trump.
I'm thrilled to have him on my team to help me get this message out, because you've got to break through. And with my opponent spending $20 million on television, I've got to have something that helps me break through. And the endorsement of President Trump is going to help make that happen.
The high-stakes election has drawn over $70 million in campaign spending. Recently, an Elon Musk PAC began offering voters $100 to sign petitions opposing, quote, activist judges, the same group that has spent millions supporting Schimel. And Susan Crawford is responding, criticizing Schimel as, quote, too corrupt and extreme for the court, saying she has been fighting for Wisconsinites. Early voting will continue today. La Crosse voters can vote at City Hall from 8:30 to 4. Eau Claire residents can do so at City Hall from 9 to 4. Early voting continues through Friday with election on April 1st. Possible federal funding cuts have UW-Madison preparing for budget reductions by 2026. University leaders are asking all departments to develop plans for 5 to 10% cuts. Friday's announcement outlined immediate reductions in travel and supplies. Officials will also review all vacant positions before filling them. The university says these measures are necessary as federal funding uncertainty threatens its financial future. Your health care coverage could be at risk as Congress debates massive Medicaid cuts. Citizen Action is hosting a community town hall tonight at the UWL Student Union to discuss the potential impact. Wisconsin's Medicaid program currently covers 1.2 million people. Doors open at 5:30 with the event starting at 6. La Crosse residents will now pay to use the city's yard waste site, which reopens today. The city implementing a new permit system requiring residents to pay $25 per vehicle. Contractors face a steeper fee, $1,500 for up to 5 vehicles. The Isle of Plume yard waste and brush site opens at 10 a.m. Operating hours are Mondays and Tuesdays 10 to 6 and weekends 10 to 4. New this morning, the La Crosse County Historical Society needs your help this summer. They're looking for tour guides at Hickson House and for cruise boat hop-on, hop-off tour guides. If you enjoy sharing local history with visitors, this could be perfect for you. You'll set your own schedule, and there are fun learning opportunities as well.
The people who guide for us are essentially ambassadors for the community. They represent and share the heritage and the history of La Crosse and the surrounding region with our visitors, and they meet people from all over the world. They meet a lot of Wisconsinites who've never been to this part of the state. It's a fun job. Interesting people. You continue to learn.
If you're interested, you can contact Margaret at the Heritage Center. We'll have her information on our website. And camping season is just around the corner, and Iowa State Parks getting ready for an influx of visitors. The state is now recruiting volunteers to serve as this year's campground hosts. Grayson Freund shows us what these important positions involve.
Campground hosts act as welcoming guides, checking in campers, answering questions, and providing park information. They also help park managers with maintenance and housekeeping jobs as needed.
You know, these people serve, I think it's over 60,000 hours a year because they're there all summer, and we have so many, we have couples oftentimes that participate. This year, I think it's in line with years before. Certainly by March or April, if we don't have these positions filled, we will be more heavily recruiting.
Active volunteer time runs about 20 to 30 hours per week. And since this is a volunteer role, campground hosts don't receive a paycheck, but are given a free campsite during their hosting period between April and October.
I mean, volunteers certainly help us accomplish our mission, and we can do more with more hands. So that's always helpful for our park staff. And also, it's a way to connect people to the outdoors, and I think that's also becoming increasingly important.
And in some global news, Pope Francis is recovering at home this morning after battling double pneumonia for a month. The 88-year-old pontiff made a brief public appearance from the hospital balcony. You see that there. This was right before he was discharged. Vatican officials say his spirits are high, though he still needs rest and therapy. The Pope will continue his recovery at his residence, Casa Santa Marta. Doctors expect a 2-month convalescence before he can return to his full duties. The time now is 6:11. Still ahead on your morning news, the Small Business Administration will take on student loans from the Department of Education. Bumble tuna accused of fishing boat slavery, and costs for pet owners are on the way up. And businesses and consumers are stockpiling tequila amid tariff uncertainty. Coming up, more on the price of your next margarita. And for now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Astronomers making a stunning discovery 13 billion light years away. The most distant known galaxy detected earlier this year by the James Webb Telescope contains unexpected oxygen and heavy metals. Scientists say these elements in galaxy Jade's GSZ 140 suggest the universe's earliest galaxies formed much faster than we previously thought. And as you start to wake up this morning, leaving you with a quick wake-up call with the city where both Pizza Hut and White Castle were founded, Wichita, Kansas. Nice look at Wichita this morning, in case you were wondering what it looked like. All right, stay with us. Your consumer news is coming up.
When you have a drain backup, you need help fast. From slow drains to clogged mains, we solve it all. Maxwell White has been solving sewer, septic, and drain issues in the La Crosse Coulee region for more than 30 years. Fast, reliable, and professional. Call or book online today.
Brad Schimmel is lying about Susan Crawford's views on protecting kids, just like he lied about rape kits and let child molesters off easy, even blaming child victims. The truth, Susan Crawford is a former prosecutor, a common-sense judge, and a mom. And unlike Schimmel, she's always protected our kids, at school and everywhere else.
I'm Judge Susan Crawford, and I'll always follow the law and use common sense to decide what's right and what's wrong.
To everyone who believes in tradition, come enjoy a few of ours from Wisconsin.
People in Wisconsin love a good fish fry.
Really love. And we love sharing it with guests everywhere.
At Culver's, we still batter our North Atlantic cod by hand to order.
And we cook it to a crispy, golden perfection just for you.
For you.
For you. So it's crispy outside, flaky inside. Let us take care of you.
With some homegrown traditions we were raised on.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Wisconsin, one of those places where families spend their winters among frozen lakes and snow-covered hills. With all the fun they're having, it's easy to take for granted how they warm up, by the fire, or simply adjusting their thermostat. But for some of us, it's not that easy. Some of us need to decide whether to heat or to eat, or to further neglect our basic survival needs. We are working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans, all struggling to pay record heating bills. These dangerous temperatures aren't just uncomfortable for us, they can be deadly. If you are struggling to decide if you can put food on the table or heat your home, please reach out for a hand up. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
Every kid deserves a great education. As state superintendent, I helped pass a new literacy law, raised math and science standards, and expanded technical education. My opponent is a lobbyist who's never held a Wisconsin teaching license. She's worked to drain money from public schools to pay for private schools, raise property taxes, and eliminate teacher license requirements. I'm Jill Underly. I'll protect our public schools and never stop working to improve them.
Slow or clogged sink, toilet, or main drain? Maxwell White can help. Ask about our $99 mainline drain opening special. Includes a free camera inspection. Address the root problem now to avoid costly repairs or future damage. Call or book online today.
Well, good morning to you. Away we go, holding on to at least 30 degrees out there by La Crosse here. It feels like it's 19 on your skin. In fact, you have that well, you got visibility is 10 miles. Everybody's doing well out there. Other than that, the roadway's looking pretty good. We're taking to Millston, though. The roadways have gotten much better here. The roadways for folks that are traveling along seem to be pretty good. La Crosse holding on to the sunshine as we get into the 9 o'clock morning hour here. And then eventually sunshine will prevail for the better part of the day, coming back with some 7 o'clock cloud cover returning to mostly cloudy skies possibly. Eau Claire, on the other hand, starting out in the cloudy skies, getting into mostly cloudy by the 9 o'clock hour. Mostly sunny skies at the 11 o'clock hour. Plenty of sunshine into the afternoon, though, for you. Temperatures in the 40s, and we'll also see those breezy and gusty winds kicking in. You can see by 7 o'clock, we're still holding on to winds at 26 miles per hour, 30 up by Eau Claire. Then as we get into at least the 9 o'clock hour to at least 12 o'clock, we're holding on to winds just near 30 miles per hour. And then that continues on for everybody else, getting to the east there, 30 mile per hour winds, 33 in Viroqua. As we go right into the afternoon, around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock hour, winds begin to taper down, mostly in the 20s. And then eventually, by the time we get to 6 o'clock, we're pretty much done with the gusts in the 7 o'clock hour as well. Highs for today, well, we're looking at 40s up there, widespread to at least the low 50s, under sunny skies to partly cloudy conditions. Today, we're also going to be seeing holding on to that sunshine. The breeze is here, and we have trending warmer as we go into Thursday and Friday. By the time we get into Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies coming in with some brief sunshine. Then we get back into the cloud cover. More about this coming up for you in just a moment.
In your morning consumer news, the Small Business Administration will take on student loans from the Department of Education as it faces massive staffing cuts. The SBA announced it'll eliminate 2,700 positions. That's 43% of the workforce. The reduction includes temporary workers and voluntary resignations. Despite the cuts, the agency claims its core services won't be impacted. The changes come as part of the Trump administration's broader cuts to the federal workforce. A group of fishermen are accusing one of the largest tuna importers of slavery. 4 Indonesian fishermen are suing Bumblebee Foods, saying they were abused, overworked, and denied medical care. One man says he was left to suffer without food or water. This is the first known case of fishing boat slavery brought against a U.S. seafood company. Industry insiders say the case could have a ripple effect for the seafood industry if the accusations hold up in court. The cost of being a pet owner is skyrocketing. Rover's latest True Cost of Pet Parenthood report says dog owners can expect costs to increase as much as 7% this year. Cat owners can see a 10% increase. The average annual cost of a dog for 2025 is sitting between $1,400 to $5,200. Cats estimated to cost about $750 to $3,500. More than half of pet owners are concerned that tariffs will make the price of pet ownership higher. Cute cats in that video, though. And the on and off again 25% tariff on Mexican products already has one industry paying up. Businesses and consumers now stockpiling tequila amid the tariff uncertainty. CBS's Danya Bacchus shows us how it could affect your next margarita.
If a margarita is your drink of choice, the possibility of tariffs could be shaking up the price.
It's a Mexican restaurant. Margaritas is very important.
At La Contenta Oeste in New York, they're already preparing for the impact of a 25% tariff on goods from Mexico.
I have around 90 cases of tequila.
Owner and chef Luis Mora says he usually buys about 20 cases of tequila and mezcal at a time. But since January, he's ordered about a 6-month supply, and he's not alone. Exports of tequila from Mexico to the U.S. jumped 35% in January and 25% in February compared to last year.
We have Mexican products here. We sell nothing but Mexican products.
In Los Angeles, management at Las Perlas Bar is waiting to see if the tariff, which has been paused until April while President Trump is in talks with Mexico's president, will be implemented. If so,
I mean, for us, it's going to be a straightforward thing. We either raise the prices, or we take the hit.
Analysts say even if the tariffs are not imposed, the uncertainty has already cost the tequila sector money and could cause a temporary slowdown in sales of the billion-dollar industry.
That's a look at your consumer news. We'll send it over to Art now. He's got a look at our weather.
All right, and away we go. This is what's been happening here. Icy conditions possibly as we get into the morning hours with very little snow accumulation here locally. We'll also see that along I-94, mostly getting up to the north as well. And we have breezy and gusty winds for everybody in the forecast as well. Right now we're seeing those winds up to about 27 miles per hour, getting to gusts up to 32 miles per hour. In fact, take a look here. This is a snowfall over the last 6 hours here. You can see that it started way earlier, but you can see it got out of the way, pretty much out of the region and out to the southeast and done. Temperatures today, though, we'll hold on to 40s and the 50s, low 50s there. You can also see that we're getting into sunny to partly cloudy skies for the better part of the day, despite starting out with cloudy skies. You get into the 10 o'clock hour, you're holding on to conditions to be like this. You're looking at 20s and some 30s, man. It's a little chilly out there with that breeze out there as well. In fact, you're going to see that as we go in the 4 o'clock hour, we're still holding on to 39 to about, say, 45 to 47 degrees in our forecast. A little bit warmer down to the south. We also pick up some cloud cover sneaking in as we get into the 8 o'clock hour, where clouds can only increase. Temperatures back in the 30s widespread as we finish out, so that wind chill pretty much is already gone by the time we get to the 7 o'clock hour, but still it's going to be colder on your skin out there if you're still coming home from work or going to work that time in the evening hours. Holding on to highs for Tuesday, we're looking at 45 to about, say, 52 degrees. We have some partly cloudy skies for the better part of the day with some breezy winds still holding on. As we go through Tuesday and into Wednesday, you can see these clouds will be from partly to mostly cloudy skies getting into Wednesday. Once we get into the overnight hours, you're going to be seeing the possibility of rainfall trying to get back into the picture here as we go into Thursday, trying to brush us as we go right into the morning hours. We're also seeing the long range forecast getting into Friday. We're seeing the possibility of snow coming in. So, I mean, rain and rainfall. The snow is up to the north along, well north of along I-94 there. That continues on. We're mostly in the rainfall as we go into Saturday as well. So it's pretty much Saturday and Sunday, rainfall all day, possibly getting into the morning hours, coming back again. You're going to see this kind of fluctuating again as we finish out at 3 o'clock going into Sunday. That's going to bring in some snowfall, trying to get back again all the way back down to the south, slowly but surely, but it may just dissipate before it does. As we finish out going into the next few days, though, breezy conditions hold on today. We'll probably see those again for tomorrow, but temperatures on the rise, 49 to 51 degrees with a 20% chance of rainfall on Tuesday. We get into Wednesday with partly cloudy skies becoming mostly cloudy. We'll see that kind of stick around for the better part of the day. So we'll see a brief stint of sunshine and those clouds come back. Thursday, we have warmer conditions on the way with 61 to 67 degrees going into Friday. Rainfall comes back as a 30% chance, turning into a 70% chance on Saturday. That's when it's going to stick around all day going into Sunday as well, with a 50% chance turning into morning snowfall getting into the early morning hours for the commute on Monday. Be safe out there. Have a wonderful day.
All right, Art, thank you. Well, is your child getting enough sleep? Doctors say 1 in 3 are not. What you need to know after the morning sports blitz.
Coming up in sports, hear from the Badger basketball team after their disappointing second-round loss, plus the women's hockey team looking for a national championship. All that coming up in the Morning Blitz.
There's been a lot of talk about this Supreme Court race, but here's what's really at stake. Brad Schimmel wants to make sure women don't have the right to make their own health care decisions. If he wins, that right is gone. I'm Susan Crawford, a former prosecutor, a common sense judge, and a mom. And I trust women to make their own health care decisions. Brad Schimmel doesn't, but I always will. And that's why I'm asking for your vote.
This is our home. Family and Children's Center has been supporting families in La Crosse and Winona for over 140 years. As time has gone by, we've expanded our services to include abuse prevention, mental health treatment, and so much more. Visit fcconline.org to see how our nearly 30 programs are strengthening communities throughout western Wisconsin and southeastern Minnesota. Better tomorrows start with us.
Get solar and get saving with Olson Solar Energy.
The biggest thing I want to get across to people, whether it's via email or voicemail or text, is we are a local Wisconsin family-owned turnkey solar company.
We have project managers that will walk you through the process, keep you informed along the way, and make sure that the communication is the best that it can be.
All the financial benefits are awesome. And then on top of that, it's green energy. How can you lose?
A 5-year-old girl violated. The predator faced up to 60 years behind bars. Radical Susan Crawford sided with him, released on a $500 bond, and lived across from a school. His sentence, just 4 years in prison. Now he's free. All because Susan Crawford and her warped, soft-on-crime agenda. Catch and release Crawford. Don't take the risk. Fair Courts America is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I did know that back pain, foot pain come along with the job of waiting tables, but since getting the arch supports from the Good Feet store, I have had no pain. I'm more positive. It's like opening up a whole new life, like sunshine coming out.
See how we can help you too at the Good Feet store.
Welcome to the Morning Blitz. It was a short-lived March Madness for our Wisconsin teams. Marquette falling in the first round on Friday. And then on Saturday, the Wisconsin Badgers getting knocked out after falling short to BYU in the second round. Let's do a quick recap on that one. Early in the game, the Badgers got off to a slow start as the offense was struggling and the defense couldn't get a stop. The Cougars led by as many as 14 in the first half and then took a 47-36 lead into halftime. In the second half, the Badgers tried to fight back as John Tonje scored 37 points and got Wisconsin within 2 late in the game. But on the final shot, Tonje's last shot came up short, and BYU knocked Wisconsin out of the tournament 91-89 the final.
We just believed in each other. We just kept fighting back, kept encouraging each other, letting each other know what was at stake. And I'm proud of the guys just for fighting to get back in the game and giving everything we had.
Today stings a lot because we'd worked a long time to get to this position and have a chance. But in the big picture, like I said, I couldn't be more proud of the group, of how they committed to each other and to our program and continue to get better throughout the year.
BYU shot 49% from the field and 46% from three-point land. They also out-rebounded the Badgers 41-32. Wisconsin finishes the season with a 27-10 record, but they still haven't made a Sweet 16 since 2017. Yesterday, we had a national championship on the line in women's hockey as the Badgers taking on the defending champions Ohio State. First period, Ohio State shorthanded, but it doesn't matter. Joy Dunn goes right past the Badgers D and puts it in. Buckeyes strike first, but not even 10 seconds later, Wisconsin answers. Layla Edwards slips past the goalie, finds the net. We're all even at 1. Buckeyes would eventually go up 3-1, but here come the Badgers off the rebound. Kirsten Sims finds Caroline Harvey into the net. It goes. Wisconsin down just 1. Then with 18 seconds left, Wisconsin awarded a penalty shot, and Sims breaks the goalie's ankles and delivers. We're tied up and we're going to overtime. In OT, Lacey Eden on the breakaway, skating up the ice. Her shot no good, but guess who? It's Sims on the rebound and nails it. Wisconsin crowned national champions for the 8th time in program history and their 4th in the last 6 years. What a thriller. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Out-of-state special interests are trying to buy a Supreme Court seat for Susan Crawford. Why? Because Crawford supports their radical agenda, and I'm not okay with any of it. Let transitioning male teachers use my girls' bathrooms at school. Allow boys to compete against them in sports. Giving puberty-blocking drugs to children without parents' consent. That's who Susan Crawford sides with, and I'm not okay with any of it.
Attention.
If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 715-469-6907. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 715-469-6907. Again, that's 715-469-6907.
Celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain, Wednesday, March 26th at the Viterbo University Fine Arts Center. They're still thrilling audiences with their offbeat humor and four-string virtuosity. Experience multiple musical genres, from ABBA to ZZ Top to bluegrass to Broadway, all played on the bonsai guitar. Order tickets at 608-796-3100 or online at ViterboFineArtsCenter.com.
Brad Schimmel is lying about Susan Crawford's views on protecting kids, just like he lied about rape kits and let child molesters off easy, even blaming child victims. The truth, Susan Crawford is a former prosecutor, a common-sense judge, and a mom. And unlike Schimmel, she's always protected our kids, at school and everywhere else.
I'm Judge Susan Crawford, and I'll always follow the law and use common sense to decide what's right and what's wrong.
The camper. It has been a reliable companion for your family's good times. But after years of use, it is showing some wear and tear. A broken window from an errant baseball, a couch that your dog allegedly chewed on, and an AC unit that doesn't work like it should. It's time to call Jim's Truck and Trailer Coachworks. We have been improving your family's camper since 1970. Call us today and we will make your camper feel brand new. Jim's Truck and Trailer Coachworks. Repair, refinish, remarkable.
Thank you for watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
In your morning medical news, CDC vaccine advisors have set a new date for their postponed meeting. The Health and Human Services Department says the independent committee will now meet April 15th and 16th. This comes after February's annual meeting was postponed. The agenda includes discussions on the ongoing measles outbreak, influenza, and other vaccine matters. The group will also vote on vaccines for meningitis. That meeting comes as a Pew survey finds more Americans got flu shots than COVID ones. 42% of adults received flu shots this year, while only 27% got the COVID vaccine. Experts point to this year's severe flu season with higher hospitalizations and deaths. Just over half of Americans haven't received either vaccine. It is a vital part of mental and physical health. Sleep is important for everyone, especially kids and teens, as it plays a vital role in growth and development. Many kids experience sleep problems. If left untreated, there can be lasting effects. Mandy Gaither speaks with a pediatrician about what you should know.
During sleep, the body is at work, supporting healthy brain function and keeping up physical health. But getting those Z's doesn't always come easy. Around 35% of parents reported to the CDC that their child sleeps less than what's recommended for their age.
Sleep disturbances are really common in kids.
Dr. Scott Hadlin with Mass General for Children says sleep sets the stage for the kind of day a child will have, affecting school performance and how they engage with others. Those who don't get enough sleep are at increased risk for injuries, obesity, type 2 diabetes, poor mental health, attention and behavior problems, and poor cognitive development.
The key here is to understand when there's an issue.
Hadlin says there are 3 reasons parents should seek care for a child's sleep habits. First, if sleep disturbances are persistent, happening multiple times a week for a long period of time. Second, if the sleep issues are leading to daytime problems. Finally, if you suspect a medical problem, for example, heavy snoring or gasping, could be a sign of obstructive sleep apnea.
I think the other thing I would say is that if a child does wake up in the middle of the night with some kind of sleep disturbance, it's really important for parents to respond calmly, because that will help their child fall back asleep more quickly.
Doctors say when it comes to sleep, consistency is key, so children and teens should have consistent bedtime and wake-up times even on the weekends. He says to avoid screen time an hour or two before bed. Instead, use that time to set them up with a good night's sleep with calming activities like reading. The community gathered Saturday to mark 10 years of Holman's Adapted Sports League and 15 years of Project Live. Project Live helps older students with disabilities transition to independent living in the community. Families supported by both programs at the annual fundraiser, which included bingo and bowling.
The community has made it bigger and better every single year with their generosity, with their amazing donations.
All proceeds from Saturday's fundraiser go to educational items and experiences. Hope and healing through movement in La Crosse. The local suicide prevention initiative hosted its 13th annual Dance for Hope event. The gathering focuses on suicide prevention, education, and spreading hope throughout the community.
I think it's important to support suicide prevention, just to get the word out there. You know, you don't know what people are going through, and it's important to talk about it. So it feels like a more open and safe community for people, just in general. So people don't feel like they're alone. Attendees were also encouraged to make donations, with all contributions going directly to support the initiative. And now we'll send it over to Art. He's got a look at our morning commute.
All right, I look a little shiny out here, Alexandra. I've got a spotlight on me. As we get into it here the next few hours, so we're holding on to 30s and some 40s. The thing is, though, it's going to feel like we're in much cooler conditions. You can see the temperatures right now. Feels like we're in the teens right now in some locations. Winona feels like it's 20. La Crosse feels like it's 19 right now, so we're gradually warming you up. Back out to near Tomah here, folks going to Shelby that direction and folks going to Tomah that direction. You see a little bit of snow that's still on the roadways here off to the side here, but the roads that people are traveling on right now look pretty good. Kids going to school today, you're going to need to bundle them up because it is breezy and gusty out there. As I've mentioned before, those wind gusts up to about 32 miles per hour in some cases makes it feel much colder on your skin, like you're in the teens. Holding on to this afternoon, though, we'll still see that breeze coming in, cutting down. By the time we get in the 6 o'clock hour, those winds taper off, but it's going to be affecting folks heading to school today. Same with Eau Claire. Holding on today, you're looking at increasing clouds for La Crosse. Getting into the morning hours, and sunshine prevails for everybody. 40s on the forecast route for you. Looking at Eau Claire, holding on to the cloud cover as well. Then sunshine comes back again. Then you're going to be seeing the possibility of, again, temperatures today, 40s and 50s with plenty of sunshine in your forecast. Get out and enjoy it if you can, and be safe out there and have a wonderful day.
Before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
Yeah, that's right. Bellamy is turning 8, loves to play basketball, softball, and swimming.
Morgan is also turning 8. She loves to draw, dance ballet, and spend time with her sisters and cousins.
Aw, how about Kylie's turning 8? She loves to make art and spend time outdoors.
If you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website.
Coming up, from screening to stress management, we are joined by 2 officials from Gunderson to talk about women's health priorities.
Ready for a better career with excellent pay, benefits, and work-life balance? Chart Industries is hiring fabricators. Join the team that's shaping the future and providing awesome pay and excellent benefits. Apply today at jobs.chartindustries.com.
I was in a very bad relationship. After that, I made it my mission to help people. Brad Schimmel really wanted to know, how can we help survivors? He got right in there with me and did the work that needed to be done. I know Brad, the person, and I know how passionate he is about helping people, women, sexual assault victims, children. He has made it his life's mission to help families. I know that about him.
You're thinking about new windows and doors. I've been thinking about new windows and doors for over 40 years. You're thinking about the best window at the best price. I'm thinking about the best window at the best price for you. The best quality, installed by professional installers at a fair price. If you're planning new windows and doors, you owe it to yourself to contact the Board Store Home Improvements for a prompt free estimate. You'll be glad you did. Contact us today.
Nick Swartzen.
Yeah, if you want a relaxing experience, get a massage at the airport. What a treat. The guy's like, all right, just breathe. Flight 403 to JFK! Leaving now, let's go! Just breathe. Gate 24, missing child! You're in the rainforest.
Live on tour, Nick Swartzen, Toilet Head, Friday, May 2nd at Ho Chunk Gaming, Black River Falls. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster. Don't miss Nick Swartzen.
It's tournament time at Osseo Automotive, and the savings are giant. And so is the selection.
Get giant savings on pre-owned Chevys, like a 2022 Chevy Traverse LT for just $30,900, or a 2022 Chevy Silverado 3500 High Country for only $49,499.
You'll never see anything this big again. The giant tournament sales going on now at Osseo Ford, Nels Gunderson Chevrolet, Fountain City Ford, and Rudy's in Whitehall.
How corrupt is Brad Schimmel? Let's count the ways. 1. Schimmel gave a plea deal to a man caught with child porn after the man's lawyer gave his campaign thousands of dollars. 2. Schimmel let 6,000 rape kits sit untested for years, then lied about it. 3. Schimmel took thousands in campaign contributions from opioid makers, then refused to go after them when opioid deaths spiked. That's Brad Schimmel, and he's way too corrupt for the Supreme Court.
Ready for a better career with excellent pay, benefits, and work-life balance? Chart Industries is hiring fabricators. Join the team that's shaping the future and providing awesome pay and excellent benefits. Apply today at jobs.chartindustries.com.
Well, good morning to you. Welcome back here as we get into your local forecast. Icy roadways up along I-94, so please take it easy and prepare yourself. You may want to leave it a little bit early, give yourself a little more extra time to drive slowly. Not much in the way of accumulation down here, though, but as we get into it, we have the breezy and gusty winds that are in play for everybody. We're seeing winds from 26 to about 32 miles per hour, and that's causing a wind chill out there. That'll make it feel a little bit colder on your skin, especially for the kiddos going to school later on today at the 7 o'clock hour or so. We had that rainfall, or I should say the snowfall that came through was from the last 6 hours, and if you can see, by the time we got about the 4 o'clock hour, it kind of skedaddled out of the way. Highs for today, though, we're looking at temperatures in the 40s and the 50s. It will feel colder on your skin, as I mentioned before. We'll have the sunshine as well as partly cloudy skies in your forecast. We'll get into it past the 10 o'clock hour, holding on to snowfall trying to come back again, but that will continue to stay well toward north and northeast. Temperatures will be finished through the afternoon hours. By the time we get in the 1 o'clock hour, we're still in the 30s. And once we get in the 4 o'clock hour time slot, you're looking at 39 to about, say, 47 degrees. So we're trying to get that cold kind of pushed out of the area gradually. You can see it start to happen as we get in the 8 o'clock hour later on tonight, with most of that windfall kind of starting to move out of the northwest, going down to the southeast and helping us out a bit. Temperatures for tomorrow, though, you'll see mostly widespread 40s and those low 50s in the forecast. We get into Wednesday, you're picking up a little extra cloud cover. We'll call it partly to mostly cloudy skies. We'll get a brief stint of sunshine, then that cloud cover is going to come in and continue to add those clouds back in as we go into the evening hours. Possibility of some rainfall trying to get back in our area. You can see it kind of moving a little bit to the south and then going into the southwest and out of the area, but the possibility of more of that snow coming back again for sure for Friday going into Saturday. Well, man, oh man, here it comes. There it is, kind of circulating around the area. That comes back again with most of the rain and snow up to the north. From Eau Claire all the way down to the south, we're in the snowfall, excuse me, in the rainfall, and that continues to put into the forecast as we go into the 9 o'clock hour with that snow well to the north, rainfall down to the south. Continuing on as we go into Sunday, snowfall continues to go northward as we get a little dry slot coming in, pushing that rainfall out of the way, and that snowfall continues to stay up to the north as we finish out going into your forecast. As you can see, that goes into possibly early Monday morning. Rolling back into it, though, you're looking at 49 to 51 degrees over the next day or so. You can see we start to gradually warm you up to 54 degrees, continuing on. Warmer conditions come in for Thursday and Friday with local temperatures in the 60s. Then we get that rain and snow that I just showed you. That's going to cool us on back down again. You're going to hold on to temperatures dropping down to the upper 50s, upper 40s, and still lingering in those 40s into your forecast. And that's a look at your forecast today. More about that coming up in just a moment.
March is Women's History Month, a perfect time to focus on women's health and wellness. Joining us today is Jessica Boland, worksite wellness consultant at Gunderson Health System, to discuss important health considerations. We're also joined by Amanda Westfall. She is here with us as well. Good morning, ladies. Thank you both for being here with us.
Thanks for having us.
Nice to see you. So during Women's History Month, what health topics do you think deserve, more attention in the workplace for women?
Yeah, great question. So it's really important that women follow preventive care guidelines and up to date with preventive care. It's important for women to prioritize their health and well-being, whether it be their mental and emotional health and well-being or their physical health. There are many things that women can do, including practicing healthy lifestyle behaviors, making and keeping healthcare appointments, following preventive care guidelines and screenings as well.
Okay, we know, especially for busy moms, making and keeping those appointments can be tough, but a good reminder, right? It is so important to do. Okay, great.
Yeah, I have like 3 sisters. I have like several nieces and nephews and stuff like that. What do I do to help get them to understand what's going on for this month?
I think it's important to be mindful this month that prioritizing health and wellness is important. We all are busy and are trying to juggle work or maybe activities with our children, but in order to really be able to handle all of our responsibilities, we need to carve some time out for our own health and wellness. So whether that be being up to date with preventive care, seeing your primary care provider, but also trying to be active during the day, think 30 minutes of movement, finding activities to fit into your day for self-care. So that could be exercising, it could be journaling, and then trying to eat well and drink water throughout the day.
Okay, so small little steps that we can all be taking for sure. Any unique challenges that women face in the workplace?
I think, again, trying to juggle, all of our work responsibilities. Men and women are expected to perform at a high level, whatever their job is. And so I think doing that, but then also, again, taking time to take care of us as women when we're at home.
Okay.
So what about screenings? What can we do about that as far as women are concerned? What do they need to do to get help and, of course, get the information that they need?
Great question. The first step is to make sure that you're established with a primary care provider. So if you're not yet, getting established is really, really important because they will help guide you through the preventive care recommendations for your age. So for example, younger women need that cervical cancer screening. Women at age 40 need that breast cancer screening, and then 45 for colon cancer screening.
Do they need to do referrals before they come to you? Is that what needs to happen from another doctor if they were seeing another doctor from another state or something like that?
So the first step would be making sure that you do establish with the primary care provider. A primary care provider will do an annual physical, or some people, depending on your age and gender, don't need an annual. It might be every 1 to 2 years. So depending on your age and what is needed, your primary care provider will make referrals for, put orders in or make referrals for a mammogram or a colonoscopy. They're the ones that can order labs to have cholesterol and glucose tested. So really establishing with a primary care provider, that's the first step to making sure you're getting all of your preventive care testing and immunizations on a schedule.
Okay, yeah, they'll get you all taken care of. All right, well, ladies, thank you both so much for being here this morning with us.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
Welcome to Hazel and Lola's Kitchen Boutique. Whether you're a gourmet cook or an aspiring foodie, we have something for your style and taste. See our selection of gourmet cookware, bakeware, and appliances. Hazel and Lola's Kitchen Boutique. Stop in today and tell them Peyton sent you.
You wouldn't buy the first vehicle you saw.
Trust me, it's perfectly safe.
I'll take it. So don't hire the first personal injury lawyer you call.
Trust me.
Where do I sign? Object to anything less than the best. Call BGR.
Sunken or uneven concrete only worsens with time due to changing seasons, stress on the slab, or poorly compacted soil. Your sunken concrete won't get better with time, but it will with our modern solutions. Choose American Waterworks.
Brad Schimmel is lying about Susan Crawford's views on protecting kids, just like he lied about rape kits and let child molesters off easy, even blaming child victims. The truth, Susan Crawford is a former prosecutor, a common-sense judge, and a mom. And unlike Schimmel, she's always protected our kids, at school and everywhere else.
I'm Judge Susan Crawford, and I'll always follow the law and use common sense to decide what's right and what's wrong.
At Overhead Door Company, we repair any garage door and only install the best. Serving up to 100 miles outside of the Onalaska, Wisconsin area. When you need a door company you can trust with your life, call Overhead Door Company of the Seven Rivers region.
Celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain, Wednesday, March 26th at the Viterbo University Fine Arts Center. They're still thrilling audiences with their offbeat humor and four-string virtuosity. Experience multiple musical genres, from ABBA to ZZ Top to bluegrass to Broadway, all played on the bonsai guitar. Order tickets at 608-796-3100 or online at ViterboFineArtsCenter.com.
Out-of-state special interests are trying to buy a Supreme Court seat for Susan Crawford. Why? Because Crawford supports their radical agenda, and I'm not okay with any of it. Let transitioning male teachers use my girls' bathrooms at school, allow boys to compete against them in sports, giving puberty-blocking drugs to children without parents' consent. That's who Susan Crawford sides with, and I'm not okay with any of it.
Hiring the wrong personal injury attorney can cost you a lot. Researching personal injury attorneys costs you nothing. We're confident that your research will lead you to buy Goff and Rohde. BGR, object to anything less than the best.
What will you find at Hazel and Lola's Kitchen Boutique? Everything you need and more. See our selection of Polish pottery, cookware, olive oils and vinegar, and our gadget wall. Hazel and Lola's Kitchen Boutique, located inside Wesco and Sparta. Tell them Peyton sent you.
Miss a story or need to watch it again? Find them all on the News 8 Now app.
Welcome back at 6:52. Time for your morning news now. Control of Wisconsin's Supreme Court hangs in the balance as candidate Brad Schimmel campaigned in the Cooley region. Part of his Save Wisconsin bus tour, the hotly contested race between Schimmel and Crawford will determine control of the court. Both candidates currently touring the state to shore up support.
Going to every corner of the state like I did for the last 16 months, just repeating it, getting to people and reminding them this race is so critically important.
His stop in La Crosse came days after Schimmel picked up an endorsement from President Trump.
I'm thrilled to have him on my team to help me get this message out, because you've got to break through. And with my opponent spending $20 million on television, I've got to have something that helps me break through. And the endorsement of President Trump is going to help make that happen.
The high-stakes election has drawn more than $70 million in campaign funding. Recently, an Elon Musk PAC began offering voters $100 to sign petitions opposing, quote, activist judges. Susan Crawford responded, criticizing Schimmel as too corrupt and extreme for the court, saying she's been fighting for Wisconsin. President Trump's national security advisor plans to travel to Greenland this week. Vice President J.D. Vance's wife, Usha, will also visit for a cultural tour. President Trump has long said he wants the U.S. to take control of Greenland for national security reasons. The IRS and Homeland Security are near finalizing an information sharing agreement. A source says ICE could submit names of possible undocumented immigrants for IRS verification. The president's supporters say that voters want these immigration policies. Critics warn IRS involvement threatens taxpayer privacy.
Is a process in place for a court to look at that and decide whether or not that information should be released.
The agency works under laws that usually prohibit the release of personal information. Healthcare coverage could be at risk as Congress debates massive Medicaid cuts. Citizen Action will host a community town hall tonight at UWL. Wisconsin's Medicaid program currently covers 1.2 million people. Doors tonight open at 5:30. La Crosse's residents will now pay to use the city's Yardway site, which reopens today. The city has implemented a new permit system requiring residents to pay $25 a vehicle. Contractors face a steeper fee, $1,500 for 5 vehicles. The Isle of Plume Yardway site will open at 10 this morning. New this morning, the La Crosse County Historical Society needs your help this summer. They're looking for volunteers to lead tours at Hickson House and cruise boat hop-on, hop-off tours. If you enjoy sharing local history with visitors, this could be the perfect opportunity for you.
The people who guide for us are essentially ambassadors for the community. They represent and share the heritage and the history of La Crosse and the surrounding region with our visitors. And they meet people from all over the world. They meet a lot of Wisconsinites who've never been to this part of the state. It's a fun job. Interesting people. You continue to learn.
If you're interested, we'll have more information on our website. Pope Francis is recovering at home after a 5-week hospital stay. He survived a life-threatening bout of double pneumonia. The 88-year-old expressing thanks to an excited crowd waiting outside the facility in Rome.
All right, this is what we're looking at over the next several hours here. Breezy and gusty conditions. Cloud cover will give way, giving to sunnier skies for the afternoon. Those winds will break down once we get into the early portion of your evening commute. Let's take a look at what's going on. 49 degrees expected today with increasing temperatures as we go through Tuesday into Friday. Eventually, we'll get some rainfall popping in the picture as well. A 30% chance jumps to a 70% chance going into your weekend and beyond into Sunday as well. We'll also see maybe a little bit of snow in the morning for Monday.
All right, Art, thank you. Well, Louis Vuitton hatching a designer treat for Easter. The luxury fashion house partnering with renowned pastry chef Maxime Frédéric for a sweet collaboration. Traditional Easter eggs are getting a high fashion makeover embossed with the iconic LV monogram. Yeah, you can see it looks nice. I wonder how much. Probably
I know, right?
A little more expensive than my Easter bunny
A little bit.
can afford. But they look nice. Thanks for starting your morning with us. We will see you back here at noon. Until then, enjoy your Monday.